Welcome to day 9, everyone, of the Swiss, also known as round 5, the last day. Spoilers for that if you haven't seen all the Swiss. Wow, so much important happened. Sure, BLG is still in the tournament. They might win the whole thing. But more importantly, WBG Gaming just rocked D plus Kia. They just went crazy. They threw D plus Kia out of the tournament like a freaking gnar alt. This first D plus Kia versus WBG game is one of the best games of the whole tournament. We have a teleport coming in from Showmaker. Gonna make it a 4v3, but then the other teleport comes in from Xiaohu to make it a 4v4. We see that WBG is up in health, so this is looking like a pretty good fight for them. But the issue is that instead of saving Xiaohu, they get super focused on Showmaker. That's going to be a bad tactic because Showmaker is LeBlanc. You're probably not going to kill him if he doesn't really want to fight. Whereas Xiaohu here is much more vulnerable. They completely leave him to the wolves. And while Showmaker escapes on the LeBlanc, Xiaohu gets totally captured by D plus Kia. Here, Crisp uses the Lux R to scout out what they're doing the Baron, but this is kind of a big deal. Lux R is like half the damage in Lux's kit, so you're actually reducing your teamfight utility a lot when you use your R for scouting like this before a big fight. WBG thinks they have an angle with the Shockwave Nocturne, but they cast it a little bit too late, and there's a moment after the Nocturne lands where he can flash out before the Shockwave goes through. And then a beautiful equalizer here out of Kingin, just tags Tarzan there. And then maybe the most shocking thing is that Breathe doesn't jump on the 4 of these. If this were Fnatic, he definitely would have done that. So either he respects a D plus Kia more, or maybe he's learning to be a little less aggressive, which would be a good thing for WBG. You can see that maybe Xiaohu did expect Breathe to go in because Xiaohu's being way too aggressive here. Walks in trying to get extra Q damage off, ends up getting really punished for that when the Kalista R comes in, knocks Xiaohu up. Here, WBG take a big gamble. Jax has TP, but instead of fighting for this dragon, they just let it go, and Jax is going to trade it for the mid inhibitor. But this is the 3rd dragon, and so just giving up a 3rd dragon uncontested is kind of a risk. The casters act like it's very obvious that a mid inhibitor is worth giving D plus Kia the 3rd Cloud Dragon. I don't think that's obvious at all. Souls are so powerful. This looks like it's going to be a really great fight out of WBG, but a couple of problems. So Tarzan goes in with the Nocturne Orianna Ball. But the problem is Orianna R is a big part of your AoE damage. And so if you're just using it on one Rumble, that's a lot of damage you don't have in the fight. And then Stopwatch comes in, so they don't even get the 1 kill. And again, Crisp R is wasted. Crisp is going to have very little damage in this fight with no R. They're throwing all their AoE damage on this one person. They don't get the kill. And now they're mostly out of AoE damage. So when Lucid comes in with this great Lee Sin kick, WBG just don't have much damage left. Breathe tries his best, but he can't take on 4 by himself. At the same time, Tarzan gets super chunked when he goes in on Rumble, and Showmaker just comes in, finishes off Tarzan, and gets light at the same time. Just crazy burst damage from Showmaker. And here, maybe Breathe has not learned to be less aggressive because he's about to jump right into 4. Right here, you can see the Renata ult coming out, and so right when he jumps in, caught up in the Renata ult, and just instantly blown up. Then Showmaker jumps in on Crisp, gets caught out, ends up trading his life for it, but he gets Crisp so low that the minions end up killing Crisp. It's hard to see because it's on the corner of the screen. Boom. Winions. And here, the dragon is up that I warned about, that if DK gets his 4th dragon, WBG could be in trouble. And basically, WBG decides to send Breathe back up to the base because he has to catch the super minions. But that's basically just sacrificing the dragon because D plus has 5 now. So what WBG really needed to do was just let the supers go for the base, force a fight at dragon right now, and take the dragon if D plus Kia isn't willing to fight, and just hope for the best in that 5v5, because this trade is not worth it. They don't end up being able to get the Baron, but even if they did get the Baron, it's not worth a Cloud Soul. WBG end up losing this fight and they don't get the Baron. Lucid has the GA, so he just absorbs all the damage just to resurrect. So WBG spent all their damage just to get this GA out, and now aiming at almost full health, just goes ham, cleaning up all the kills. D plus also has Cloud Soul when all of this is happening, all because WBG wanted to get that mid inhibitor instead of fighting for the 3rd Cloud Drake. And this was a 43-minute game. It was exhausting. I expected both the teams to be exhausted after this, but Weibo is not exhausted by the chaos. Weibo is the chaos. Weibo reaches their final form in this game too, and they are just dominating. At 14 minutes, they're 2k gold up, 6 grubs, both dragons, making basically no mistakes. They look incredible this game. Here we see a gorgeous out of Crisp Alistar engage into Gnar ultimate into the wall. Alistar is one of Crisp's best champ. If I were the Weibo coach, I would put Crisp on Alistar like every single game. Weibo are just untouchable in this game. All 4 dragons in a row, 6k gold up at 23 minutes, now going for the Baron. DK all game got 4 kills and 2 turrets, so pretty close to a flawless victory from Weibo. Weibo was also looking strong in this game 3, but they were showing a little more shakiness. Here, for example, they get a little too excited with the 3v4. Get totally blown up by that Rel ult into Misfortune ult. And here, Weibo playing too cautiously, which is very strange, but it's a very inconsistent team. They're 4k gold up. They should be forcing this fight so that it's not a 50-50. But they don't, and they just let Lucid come in and steal it on the Vi. So bad play there from Weibo. Luckily, Moham then just runs into 5 with no team support and dies instantly. And then here, Light gets caught out. And this is very Weibo gaming, where when one of their players gets caught out, they throw in every player trying to save that one player. So these two come in, but now you're in a 3v5. Watch aiming here, trying to get the kill on Light. After Light ease in, he sees he's vulnerable. Get just a little bit, a few waves off this R, just enough so that the next auto attack is lethal. This one's worth watching without pauses. Beautiful aiming. And then here, terrible Vi engage from Lucid onto Light because the black shield is right here from Morgana. So just absolutely nothing gets done. Here, Weibo Gaming just give up the Baron even though they're 8k gold up. I think they're scared of fighting into a choke, but when you're 8k gold up and they have Baron debuffs on them, you can just go in. You don't have to be so worried. They like come down here and they just sack the Baron. So no need for this from Weibo. I think a much sloppier win this game. So while I think Weibo looks a lot stronger in this series than they did previously in the tournament, all of these mistakes that they showed in games 1 and 3 are still keeping them from being a really top competitor, in my opinion. Now, if they continue to get stronger in the quarterfinals, they could definitely make an even deeper run. Weibo has done it before. Nice play from Broken Blade here in G2 versus BLG game 1. Mega Gnar jumps in and Jun casts R behind him right now, but Gnar throws him out of the way so that his R totally misses, and Broken Blade makes that alive. Really good. G2 is already 4k gold down, so they probably don't want a full fight here. And yet when Mickey is caught out, Yike tries to go in to save him, kind of starting a full fight. So Yike goes in with the Nocturne Shockwave, but now you don't have the Shockwave for AoE damage during the team fight. And basically, what happens to the Nocturne after you dive in with the Shockwave, right? You're a Nocturne in 3, so you're kind of trading your life as the Nocturne for whoever you're Shockwaving onto. So Mickey goes down, and then Nocturne goes down. And so you're kind of like in chess, you don't want to trade material when you're down on pieces. G2 is down on pieces, and they're trading material here. So not the best macro calls from G2. And here, G2 just underestimating the speed at which this Skarner can come in and the range of this Jax. You can see Jax doesn't use flash or anything, just E, jump on, and double stun. So they were totally underestimating how fast the Jax can get on top of them. So here BLG win this fight, and then Elk is worried that G2 is going to run away and they're not going to get enough kills. So he does this kind of goofy looking play where he Rs into everyone and then uses the stopwatch. He has cleanse, flash, and stopwatch. So he feels safe that if he goes in, he'll kind of distract them and stop them from escaping so that BLG can collapse. But the truth is G2 was on the opposite side of the map. They were going to get a number of kills by chasing them down anyway. And the cost of doing something like this for Elk is that in the next fight, you don't have any summoner spells. Well, he dies, first of all. And then you don't have flash or cleanse or stopwatch for the next fight. They got 3 kills on G2 for 1 kill on Elk. So not the end of the world, but I just don't think it was necessary out of Elk. BLG looking quite strong that game, stronger than they've been for the majority of this tournament and kind of dominating G2. Here in game 2, respect G2 banning away Bin's Jax. That is going to help them a lot. Knight throws out this root, and Mickey flashes right into it. Knight makes it out alive. Beautiful play from G2 here while they take the tower. Caps takes the Gnar ultimate. While Bin is trying to double hop out, it gets canceled with the throw, and then that knocks him up, and so Broken Blade can Yasuo ult in. And then here, Shun flashes a little bit too late and still gets caught up in the Skarner ult, so flash wasted from Shun there. And then Giga Yike here. BLG has no vision over the wall because this ward is being canceled by the control ward, so they don't see when Yike charges up this ultimate. They both get pulled over the wall. Oh my god. And then G2 really smart here. They don't want to risk the 50-50, so instead they just take the fight by all going over the wall. It takes a couple of flashes, but it's worth it to not have to 50-50 for the Baron. Really solid, safe play from G2. No matter what else happens, G2 can say that they beat BLG with Yasuo. How many people are going to say that? And here, kind of uncharacteristic play from Elk. Here, he's way too caught up. He walks towards Broken Blade here. Just gets instantly caught out. Has to ultimate and flash away. And then once he's out, he walks way too close again. And gets caught again. So just Elk a little sloppy this game, and I don't know why we're seeing so much BLG footage this tournament where On is not peeling for Elk. I think as soon as BLG starts peeling for Elk, this team wins the tournament. As if they don't peel for Elk, they will keep losing games. So great game out of G2, sloppy game out of BLG. This third game between BLG and G2, very tense. They're very even, but here Elk gets caught out, the Rise ult coming in. Here Elk flashes out too late because he's already marked, so Caps is going to root him up. So they all dive on Elk, and that means On has to come back in to try to save Elk, but then that means On's probably going to die. Beautiful equalizer from Bin. Gets just so much damage onto everybody. Then the Taric ult from Mickey, but then Knight steals the Taric ult, and there's a Taric ult on BLG. Here Elk is trying to stay alive, but he's so low from that early engage. Shun jumps on him, but he doesn't quite kill Elk. Mickey's about to die here, but he gets saved by the Kalista ult. But now when Mickey goes back in, BLG has Invul, so just a crazy back and forth fight. BLG doing so much damage. Elk still alive somehow. Another crazy fight here between BLG and G2. Shun is nowhere near this fight. Here, Yike jumps on to Bin and uses the ultimate, but the problem is because he hit Bin, Bin is not knocked out, so Bin is still right on top of him. And then Silas, who you did knock out, is really great at getting back on top of you. So the Rumble and Silas together just get inside the Xin ult and blow him up. Now another beautiful equalizer coming down from Bin, just blowing up Mickey completely. And Knight going back in for the executes. Fearless. And then here, really cool, you can see Shun actually decides not to pull him towards the Silas because he actually figures out that the Renekton can jump on the Silas and kill him. So he actually pushes the Renekton away from the Silas, says, let me tank up some of the Renekton, and then you can come in once I get the Renekton a little bit lower. And that's exactly what happens. Shun gets some damage down, and the Sterix is actually popped by the time G2 turns on to Knight. And that means that Broken Blade can no longer kill Knight before he's burst down. Insanely close fight. BLG comes out on top. And by this point, BLG is just a little bit too far ahead. Only 2k gold up, but if you see Bin's level 16 to Broken Blade's 14, that gives him a rank 3 Rumble ult. That's putting down so much poke at the beginning of this fight. Just because you're invulnerable, that does not make you immune to Shun's fight-winning ult here. That pulls 2 of them back into the team. Amazing Skarner stuff. You can see that level 16 Rumble damage. This fight goes really well for G2. On goes in, but the Taric ult comes down immediately, and so they're invulnerable while they kill On. So now it's a 5v4. Shun throws out the ultimate, but misses everyone. At the same time, though, Mickey kind of whiffs this Kalista R in, doesn't really hit anyone, and gets chunked out so much from Elk's Ezreal. Then Knight steals the Xin Zhao ult and dives onto Mickey to finish that kill. uses the stopwatch to just soak so much time. And then Bin and Elk have so much DPS. They're so strong. Just lay all the damage down. Burn Renekton through the Sterix. And then Elk goes crazy. Gets one more. Oh, clean. And then this is just kind of a Baron throw from G2. As soon as this control ward comes down from Bin, they know that Baron is a possibility, but Broken Blade doesn't TP in to stop it. Caps doesn't TP in to stop it. I think they just think that they're not going to take the Baron with 3 people and no jungler. They think that they're clearing up the vision, but they're not actually taking the Baron. But no, these 3 were indeed taking the Baron, and by the time G2 figures it out, it's just way too late. Broken Blade throws a little bit because he gets caught up on 5, just instantly blown up. And so many teams here would go get the Dragon Soul after this one fight, but BLG just says, nope, we're ready to be done now. And Bin goes in, drops the equalizer to cut off Broken Blade's escape, and then just so much damage from BLG with this late game comp. So G2 playing a little sloppy mixed with BLG playing better than they've been playing at the tournament means that BLG gets out. Here, totally botched dive from TL. They try to go in, but the Tahm Kench gets polymorphed up and ends up dying to the turret. And then Busio's shield stops Jan from getting the kill. So Jan loses his flash. No kill on Busio. Not a good start from TL. Here in this fight, Impact channels his inner Korean Jax, and despite being at 20% HP, jumps in to get this kill. That's great. But now he goes a little bit too dank, and on 5% health, jumps in again. Little too dank. Jhin just can't do anything to Cassante. W onto Cassante, auto Cassante, 2 spells, 3, 4 hits on Cassante. 9 hits onto Cassante. Jan hits Cassante with 9 different autos or spells and collectively does about 50 damage to Cassante. Not the best matchup there. Jhin opens up, but Jhin is just useless this game, throws everything into the 5,000 health Skarner, does nothing, and then Cassante's on him, who also has 5,000 health. His attacks do nothing here. Jhin is just not the right AD carry for this game. So a little bit of a team comp win in game 1 in addition to TL just playing pretty sloppy. TL playing much better this game. They try to dive onto Impact on the Rumble, but he just lays the equalizer down and just runs through his own equalizer, just running Bwipo through the equalizer like he's singed. Really good play from Impact there. Here, Bwipo way too aggressive. Bwipo loves diving into 5, but it doesn't work out half the time. Doesn't work out here, and he's dead again. Beautiful play from Jan here on the Xayah. Flash R in from Inspired, but he just R's out of it. And then Ari thinks he's going to keep going back, but he flashes forward to dodge all the Ari damage. Just insane out here from Jan. And Bwipo's dead. In this fight, Jan gets spotted out by Ari, and so then he goes on the run. He ults out, keeps running, he's still running. They can't quite get him, he's still running. Gets behind the wall. Runs away from Bwipo, still running. Amazing dodging from Jan. And then Bwipo dies. All roads lead to Bwipo dying. And Bwipo's dead. You guys, my crystal ball has Cassante most deaths. Bwipo contributed 9 deaths to the Cassante death fund this game. He's single-handedly keeping hope alive. Here, FlyQuest already have a lead, but then also Quad has this amazing counter engage, and Yone's actually better counter engage than he is engaged, because counter engage implies that the enemy team has already used their CC. So when Quad goes in here, he's just safe to rain damage down. Kill on APA, and that's pretty much just game. 7 minutes, and they're 3.5k gold up. They have 3 grubs, 6 kills. Everything else that happens in this game is just FlyQuest winning easily because they're 3.4k gold up at 7 minutes. TL kind of dropping the ball at the last minute, but FlyQuest sneaking their way into top 8, where their prize is getting to fight Genji in the first round. Good luck to them on that one. So on the tier list, we have to say goodbye to Team Liquid and G2 and D plus Kia. And then in my opinion, that Weibo performance was so scary that it actually puts them slightly above BLG in terms of average strength this tournament. Those Weibo games were nasty. That second one in particular, they played like a perfect game versus D plus Kia, and BLG never had anything close to a perfect game against G2. And I think, frankly, D plus Kia is a slightly harder opponent than G2, but that's debatable. So after watching all 9 days of Swiss, every single game, this is my power level tier list. I use this in my pick'em video. That's out right now. You should absolutely watch that right now if you haven't. What an amazing final day to an amazing Swiss stage. The Swiss stage format gives so many great games. Absolutely loved it this year. Can't wait to see the quarterfinals. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already. That subscriber number is really important for YouTube, so subscribe if you love the content and check out my other videos. I think you'll really enjoy it. I will see you all soon, and thank you so much for watching.